Hey guys, how's it going? Glockster42 here. Well, I don't know if you watched the inbox review of this Dragon kit here I posted just a couple days ago. This is the Jagdpanzer IV L70 Mark V. I think that's how you pronounce it. I could be mistaken. Now, the Germans like to put a whole bunch of nomenclature on their tanks, and I don't know. Anyway, this was a very good kit. This was a great kit. I have a really hard time doing in-process builds because I may be doing 3 or 4 models at a time, and it may be 3 or 4 months from the time I start one kit to the time I finish it, just because of work schedule and all that kind of craziness, life and all that, and all that kind of good stuff. But anyway, enough blathering about me. This is a great little kit. It's got molded on zimmermit right from Dragon, which is very nicely detailed. It's in scale, and it looks good. They've done a really nice job, especially around on the let me zoom in here. Sorry guys, zoom in here on the mantle. You can see that the zimmermit on the mantle and the front fascia is really nicely done. It follows the half circle of the mantle there. It looks great. Dragon did a really nice job on this one. The fit is extremely well done. There was no fit issues whatsoever that I ran into. I don't think there is. There's a little bit of putty. The only place where I needed to put putty was just up underneath, up along, let me get that there, right up underneath the front glacis plate, and that was it. It was the only place that needed any putty whatsoever, which is really nice. It's pretty much just, almost shake the box and put it together. Not quite as good as, say, a Tamiya. I always go back to Tamiya, but you know, it just isn't quite as good as Tamiya. It has link-to-link tracks, as you've seen in the box review. I built it so these pop up. They do pop right up here. Excuse the arm. And the running gear, nicely detailed running gear. The Dragon carried the zimmermit right down onto the lower hull plates as well. Nicely detailed. It fits good. Typical Dragon, though, there are a couple of gotchas on the instructions. So just you know, it's like the old carpenter's adage. Instead of measuring twice and cutting once, read your instructions 2 or 3 times before you commit anything to glue. I didn't have any big foibles on this one. But the only thing left to do, I've just got to do a little bit of weathering on that muffler. Now, this is not built as a very hard use, beat up, muddy tank. I like to put my stuff in context, and the context of this is a fairly new vehicle right off the train. Sent down to Hungary. This is going to be about October, no, anywhere between September and March, 44, 45, set in Hungary. This particular paint job was sent to the Hungarian campaign, and the premise is that it's basically off the train, burned up its first tank of fuel, and while the tank was being refueled, it was overrun by the Russians. So I do have 5 Soviet figures all painted up. I also have a German tank crew that didn't fare so well. He'll be in this diorama, so it'll be a small little vignette on the side of the road. The Jagdpanthers run out of fuel, which happens a lot with German tanks. They're using gas engines. Their range wasn't all that great. It's run out of fuel, and during refueling it was flanked and overrun by Russians. So I've said this before, guys. I can't stress enough putting your tanks in context. You see some of these German tanks that are just weathered like they've been in combat for 3 or 4 or 5 years. They look fantastic. Artistically, I think they're incredible. It takes a really lot of work. You have to have an extremely fine hand and a good eye to pull off heavy weathering like that. But the problem is that they're looking at modern heavy industry, modern backhoes, modern high hose, modern caterpillars, vehicles that have been in service for 5 or 6 years and that have been out constantly worked every single day, you know, 5 days a week over those 5 or 6 years, and that's what they're basing their weathering techniques on. Sorry guys, the lifespan of a lot of these German armor was hours, days, weeks, months. You may see the odd tank that lasted a couple of years, and that's just pretty doggone rare. I think it probably would be fair to say that you could count the German span of a German tank, life of a German tank in months, quite literally 6, 8, 9 months. And you can get a lot of mud, you can get a lot of dirt, you can get a lot of grime on it, but you're not going to get a lot of fading and a lot of paint damage. The Germans used a very heavy duty epoxy paint, especially on camouflage schemes that were applied in the factory. The paint was extremely good. Field paints, not so good. Same type, but really, guys, you need to look at context. How long has that tank been in the field? How long could it reasonably be in service? So anyway, guys, enough of me preaching about weathering. There's my completed Jagdpanzer IV. It's a good kit. I would recommend it. It's well worth the money. This, I think, I tend to try and find stuff on sale, and there's one shop that has a lot of sales in my area, and I usually don't pay any more than between $36 and $50. That's kind of my cutoff for models anymore. So anyway, guys, 6 minutes of blathering. I'm sure a lot of guys could have done a complete out-of-the-box build in that time. But anyway, guys, there it is. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it.